and met with him, and I was just so impressed with his sincere heart. And he used some very strong words. As I told him that, I come from an herbal background with my experience. He said, Darren, in many ways the industry is shallow and unimaginative, and those two words stuck with me because that was very tough talk, but I think he's right on line, and what he's coming up with for QSciences is incredible. We have had the benefit of taking his men's formula for the last several weeks, along with Q96, another product you'll hear about tonight, and I have never felt better in my entire life. I can go back to looking at all the other herbs and things I've taken, and these in combination, and I've already, I guess why I'm so excited is because to grow a business in our industry, you've got to have products that really invoke emotion and get, I hate to say instant results, but very quick results, almost instantaneous. And I dropped off a bottle to a friend, and she's been in and out of the hospital with migraine headaches, and they put her in a dark room just trying to calm them down. And she came up, Scott, you met her, came up and wrapped her arms around Scott and myself in tears and pretty much just said this has changed her life. I spoke to her again today, and she is just back to working, back to happiness. And to me, if we have a product that really touches almost every household in this country and pretty soon around the world where people are looking for better mood and better emotions, we're on to something that's going to just propel you as a business owner and this company forward, and I'm really excited about it. And with that, I'll turn the time over to Dr. K to kind of do an overview of the products.
Thanks, Darren.
Thank you, Darren. I'm Dr. Stephen Kimberly. I'm a board-certified specialist in internal medicine. I've got 35 years practice experience, and I'm also a naturopath. I became fascinated with nutrition and nutraceuticals while still in college. And since then, not a day goes by that I'm not studying, tinkering, figuring things out. And over the years, I've had the opportunity to create herbal formulations for Stash Tea, Tazo Tea, GNC, and Cliff Bars. I feel very fortunate to be involved with this group of stellar individuals and to be presenting this incredible array of formulations that is just a really solid foundation for health. And thinking about things in general, the biggest problem I feel we have in modern society with our health is not so much diabetes, heart disease, and chronic medical conditions, which are certainly a major problem, but those are just the tip of the iceberg. In addition, we have so many subclinical states. An individual may not show clinical signs of depression, but their mood may be below what they would like to have it. They may not have chronic fatigue, but on the other hand, they may not have the energy that they need to do all the things they want to do during the day and be happy and peaceful and serene. And our goal is to help people. Our goal is to deliver products that are going to address these issues in no uncertain terms. And that is what we have. And I've been astounded by the way things have come together here. It seems like, especially bringing in the Q96 product, which I will discuss, is remarkable. Us have technology behind these products, and I'm pleased to say that formulation.
We're getting a lot of people drop off for religious school.
Sorry, getting a little background noise, but anyway, in modern society, stress, pollution, devitalized foods, devitalized soils, all of that is epidemic, and it takes a great toll on the body. It depletes our vital energies to the point where getting through the day can be difficult, and over long term it can cause a real breakdown in our tissues and our organs and result in disease. And that's something we certainly want to avoid. And we all want to have
this conference is being
and,
recorded.
And the serenity to go about our daily activities with a good
muted
and with and improve our health. Now, through the years, I have identified a group of herbs that are remarkable in terms of revitalizing our energy centers and doing so in a manner that doesn't cause any adrenal burnout. Nowadays, everybody's drinking 5-Hour Energy or Red Bull, etc., and those drinks and formulas, in my opinion, are just real garbage. They function through a very superficial stimulation through sugar and caffeine, artificial caffeine, and maybe a couple of B vitamins. But there really isn't any stimulation of the organ systems and energy centers that drive our bodies and keep us in good shape mentally, physically, and emotionally. I've also found that some herbs work better in combination than others. And the formula that we are presenting in the men's and women's QVitalize formulas are ones that I have been working on for decades, really. And I was, just so pleased to have this opportunity to present them to a wider audience. Now, first and foremost, in this formula, we add tyrosine and another amino acid, which help produce neurotransmitters in the brain. Now, amino acid therapy is a wonderful thing. It is not fully understood, I feel, by many practitioners and people in general. And the key is to take the amino acid as a single supplement on an empty stomach. And this allows it to get into the blood, get absorbed, and to cross into the brain, where tyrosine goes to form dopamine and adrenaline. And these are key amino acids in how we think and feel every day. We also included NAC, which is N-acetylcysteine, and it's a great combination with tyrosine because N-acetylcysteine is great for the liver, purifies the liver, boosts the enzyme systems which detoxify all the toxins which we're exposed to every day. And in addition, it helps in the synthesis and protection of collagen, and it protects our cells from free radicals. Free radicals, as you know, are byproducts of metabolism, and they're basically toxic to our cells. And anything we can do to limit free radicals with antioxidants and amino acids such as NAC is great. Fortunately, the combination with the Q96 antioxidants boosts the power of tyrosine and NAC in this regard. Now, many energy formulas are designed to be taken on a daily basis, or that's how they market them. But over time, the constituents actually cause kind of a breakdown or adrenal burnout. And we have taken great pains to present formulas that build you up from the ground up and provide an excellent foundation for anything you need to do. We don't want to be too charged up every day. We want to be at the right level of energy for what we need. We want to be able to sleep, rest, and recharge in a regular pattern that fits in with our own biorhythms. Now, there's a men's and women's QVitalize formula, and these are custom made for each gender for optimal effect and appropriateness. Now, men and women have different energy configurations and requirements, and hormones vary for both sexes, as you know. It may be surprising to you to know that both men and women have a full set of hormones. the adrenal glands, ovaries, and testicles produce a variety of hormones that act on receptors throughout the body. Even the brain has hormone receptors. Now, there are a number of herbs and plants that contain compounds called flavones, which actually lock on to the hormone receptors and cause a hormone-like effect, even though they're not the actual hormone. And this is similar to the actions of tyrosine, in that tyrosine acts as a precursor, and so you take it, and same with NAC, and your body figures out where it needs to go with it, which pathway to send it down, and it's like adding fuel that you need to your body on a daily basis. And as such, it has been found to be very beneficial in preventing stress-related problems and protecting the cells. The herbs included in these formulas have similar actions. They kind of go where your body needs them to go. You won't find that there's any excessive effect. It's going to be just what you need. Now, men and women obviously have different hormones, and that's why they're different herb combinations. Some of the herbs are designed more for women. They work better for women. And specifically, I'm talking about black cohosh and dong quai, which are very useful in smoothing out hormone patterns, hormone swings, improving, menstrual regularity, and preventing menopause problems such as hot flashes, etc. Great for anxiety, great for insomnia, but also cause a deep revitalization of the female organs. On the men's side, we include ashwagandha and tribulus, or horny goatweed, which are very useful for restoring men's vitality. And these formulas should be taken every day. And over time, there will be a real buildup, and the effects will be even stronger as you continue to take them. Should I ask questions at this point? Does anyone have any questions specifically?
Dan Steffen here. I'm curious. Is there any digital information on the ingredients available out there?
Well, yeah, there's digital information on all on everything these days, but we're working on developing some focused content that will really be helpful in getting people to understand more about this.
There you go.
I think,
appreciate that.
Yeah, getting information these days on the internet is like trying to take a sip out of a fire hose. If you put an herb in or a vitamin in, you'll get, a million hits, and a lot of them are going to be off target. That's just the way it is. There's a lot of misinformation out there, so we're going to do everything we can to put the right information out there so that you really understand what's going on. Anyone else, any questions on the Q-Vitalize formulas? I'd like to say that the way these packets are distributed is in a AM and a PM dose. One you would take, upon arising in the morning, and it contains the Q96, 2 capsules of the Q96, 3 capsules of the men's or women's Q-Vitalize, a probiotic, which is another remarkable product, and in the afternoon you have a similar packet that will have 2 of the Q-Vitalize and another 2 capsules of the Q96. And we feel this is the best way to take these. Now, everybody has a little different response. That's the way we are. So some may find that they're better off taking 2 of the Q-Vitalize in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. But the good news is that we have enough leeway there for you to kind of customize to your own needs. Now, you'll notice that it takes 5 capsules of the Q Vitalize every day. And the reason is that as opposed to many of the wellness formulas, if you will, or energy formulas that are out there, we use effective doses of all these herbs. We don't use 50 milligrams, 75 milligrams. We use a full dose. And that's why it takes 5 capsules to get all these constituents in the effective dose range. In addition, you'll find that these formulas are relatively simple, relatively straightforward. But in that simplicity is contained the effectiveness. Because if your body takes in 40 different nutraceuticals or herbs at one time, it's difficult for it to kind of sort things out and to get an effective response. This way, we know what the response is going to be, and we know that it's going to be consistent, it's going to be effective. Now,
Dr. Kim?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Kimberly. When you have a second, maybe you could speak to the probiotic and the uniqueness of the delivery system with that as well.
Absolutely. Again, very pleased to say that we have a probiotic such as none I have ever seen. 98% of the probiotics you buy in the health food store are dead by the time you put them in your mouth. This probiotic is absolutely unique in that it has a gel protection and time release system that the minute it hits water expands and protects the probiotics from being destroyed by the stomach acid, the acid barrier. So you get the delivery of large amounts of the essential probiotic bacilli into your small intestines and your colon, where they can really do the most good, where they can begin synthesizing enzymes and B vitamins, and after one day, you're going to have a veritable factory of producing vitamins in your colon. And by changing the intestinal flora, by changing the various concentrations and the healthy populations of the different bacteria, you can really transform your body. Studies have shown that people who have a poor flora in their lower colon are generally unhealthy. And the more unhealthy they are, the worse it is. The great news is that after the first dose of these probiotics, you're going to start changing your intestinal flora to a really healthy, beneficial balance. And over time, your resistance to colds, flus, intestinal problems, et cetera, is going to go up exponentially. In addition, it's going to lower cancer risk, colon cancer risk, reduce the incidence of colitis and other problems. I wish I could show you the photographs we have that with radio-labeled dye on these bacilli, and you can see over a time lapse, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, how all of a sudden you have them lighting up like a Christmas tree, and that's the bacilli in your colon establishing itself.
Hey, Dr. K, this is Scott. I can tell you that I've been taking that for about 10 days, and the very first day I could tell the difference. It was amazing to me.
Yeah, I know you. I shared that with you, and it is really amazing. And it's one of those things where you go to a store and you buy something, a probiotic, and you think you're getting something that's really going to help you, and you kind of lose faith because you don't notice any benefit. And it's not because probiotics aren't a great idea. It's not because they don't really make huge improvements in your health. It's just that those formulas are, the bacteria is dead. And if you'll notice on the bottle, it will say, 4 billion organisms or whatever at time of manufacture. So by the time it hits your small intestine, it's pretty much done. But this probiotic formula is different from anything I've ever seen, and I'm just amazed by it. Now, I was really impressed this last weekend in Salt Lake City to learn more about Q96. Q96 is a combination of vitamins, chelated minerals, amino acids, and trace minerals that have profound effects on the mental state of anyone who takes them. And a lot of this has to do with the technology, the way it's developed. You might find another multivitamin station that has many of the same constituents, but it will not be as effective. And this has to do with the 96-hour chelation, hence the name, process, which changes the way the body responds to the minerals. They're absorbed, they're brought into the cells very quickly, and the effects are profound and almost immediate. And there have been multiple clinical studies on the effectiveness of this combination in treating bipolar disorder, depression, and a host of other mental and emotional issues. The good news is that anybody who takes it is going to benefit, and benefit significantly. You may not have bipolar disorder. You may not consider yourself to be depressed, but that doesn't mean you will not feel a real boost in your mental state, your emotional state, and your ability to handle stress and respond to life in the way you want to respond. Dan, Stefan, anything you'd like to say about this, about your formula here?
Yeah, I'll throw a couple of key points in there that add a lot of excitement about what's going on. So we've been doing this for close to 16 years. We've got over 80,000 of our own clients from over 100 different countries that are using our products. 14 universities now involved, some of the most prestigious universities in the world, fully independent researchers. So in other words, we're not paying a single cent for any of this. Universities ranging from Harvard, Ohio State, Canterbury University out of New Zealand, and these guys are all doing some phenomenal research. At this point in history, this is the most researched and published micronutrient supplement in history. That's a huge statement. That's bold, but those are the facts. In a nutshell, yes, we've got all kinds of amazing research that's taken place on various neurological conditions. Dr. K talked about a few of those. But where it really has a profound effect, aside from those serious conditions, is in your general health and well-being. In a nutshell, if you looked at the label on the bottle of Q96, you'll notice that it looks very similar to that of a multivitamin, and essentially it is. But there's a couple of things that set it apart and that make it so highly effective. Dr. K, you talked about one of those key elements, and that was the chelation process. We use a chelate that nobody else in the world uses, and the way we apply that chelate is done in such a way that no other manufacturer has done that either. So basically, you're able to take this nutrition, and that's all it is. I like to oversimplify things when I'm explaining it to people out there. It's nutrition. It's whole, balanced nutrition that the body can very, very, very easily absorb and utilize, and the effect is profound. If you're using it for general health and well-being, basically you can take your current multivitamin and you can toss it out and you replace it with this, and you'll actually feel a difference. There's a phrase I like to use when I'm talking to people, and it's just feel better. Just take these pills, these vitamins, and you'll just feel better. It's nutrition, and it does what nutrition is supposed to do in the body. So we're really excited to be bringing that forward, and I mean, you guys have got, you know, a phenomenal opportunity here. Dr. K, you've got some amazing amino acids, your men's and women's formula, and your probiotics. The Q96 will work synergistically together with that amino acid formulations that Dr. K has got. And I think you're going to, I mean, if you haven't tried it yourself, mixing those two things into your own health regimens, you're going to notice some profound effects. I'll just leave that with you folks.
Thank you, Dan. Absolutely. You know, it's interesting that initially I was tasked with creating a multivitamin mineral complex that'd be really powerful and unique, and I came up with, you know, a very similar set of vitamins, minerals, amino acids, etc., as Dan has in the Q96 product. What I didn't have was this chelation process, and I'm pleased to say that the germanium, the vanadium, these are powerful trace elements that are in the Q96 formula, and these supercharge my Q Vitalize formula and really work well together. And I can tell you that I've been taking the Q96 now for a few days, and there's no doubt this is the real deal. Really works.
Hey, Dr. K, this is Darren. I just wanted to jump in for a minute, too. And I think here's the power to me about this product is that it has been sold for so long, so many proven results, so many scientific studies that are going to back it. I've been taking it. You've been taking it. Everyone that takes it feels results. I'm not aware of another product, kind of what Dan had mentioned, with this much scientific proof behind it. And Dan and his father, Tony, are allowing QSciences, after many years of saying no, 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 to say, you know what, it's time. The need is there because every household in America is being affected by mood and by mental clarity, and the stress on these young kids just gets worse.
Absolutely,
it is so proven that has everything behind it, and all of a sudden you can now take it to market and build a business. I got to tell you, it's pretty exciting to me to represent it, and also just exciting that it's going to make our jobs that much easier because people take it, they feel it, it's an emotional response, they see what it does for their friends, they see what it does for their kids, their wives, their husbands. It's a home run.
If I can just chirp in for 1 second, I get this question all the time. Well, you know, great, it's awesome. I mean, this sounds like an amazing product. You know, you got all this research. But who is it good for? Who is this good for? And this is where a lot of the people that we're talking to, they break out the pens and paper and they start writing this information down. So if any of y'all have a pen and paper, these are I'm going to run off a real quick list of the different conditions that there has been completed research on, and that research has been profound, by the way. Most of it's available publicly. Darren, I know you're collecting all that information and all those studies and stuff right now, and you're going to disseminate those through through your various, you know, methods of getting that information out there. Would you mind if I just ran down a list of different conditions that we have seen profound results with right now, Darren?
Oh, honestly, Dan, I think that would be perfect timing. I'm sure Dr. K would want that too.
Very
Absolutely.
Good. So if everyone's got a pen and paper, it's a great time to write it down. I'm going to start in with autism, ADD. In fact, we've got a brand new double-blind clinical trial coming out. Can't talk about that a whole lot yet. We don't know a whole lot about it because the researchers, as I mentioned, they're independent. So therefore, until it's published, they can't tell us a whole lot about it other than for the fact that it's going to blow our socks off, the results that they found out of New Zealand on that one. So we've got autism, ADD, ADHD, anxiety and panic disorder. That's quite common. OCD, that's obsessive compulsive disorder. ODD, that's oppositional defiance disorder. Depression or clinical depression. Bipolar disorder. Fibromyalgia. Stress. They did an interesting study recently out of New Zealand as well. I don't know if any of you remember, there was that big earthquake in Christchurch, New Zealand, where basically half of the city collapsed. What they did is they had just started a study about a week earlier on some other conditions, and then the earthquake took place. So they morphed the study, the university study, into a stress, anxiety, and depression study. Tony, I know you're in the background there. If I'm wrong on that, correct me. Anyways, what they found was that those individuals who were taking the Q96 formula dealt with stress significantly better, had less or no depression, and were able to deal with the trauma of an event basically where half their city collapsed. That's huge. I mean, with all the economic stuff that's taking place in America and around the world right now.
Hi, Dan. If I can just cut in for a second.
Yes, go ahead.
The amazing thing about that Christchurch study was it was only 4 weeks long. They had 2 weeks of baseline, and then they added 4 weeks of being actively on the Q96, and they saw a major, major decrease in stress and anxiety. That was an incredible publication. Of course, we can get a copy of that for people if they like. Back to you.
That's exciting. I don't know about any of you guys, but anything that will help reduce the stress in my life is a welcome. It's welcome. So we've got stress, trauma, clarity of thought. That's a huge one. A lot of people complain about a mind fog that lifts as soon as they start taking this formula, and that's people who are taking it for general health and well-being. They weren't even aware that they had this fog, and then all of a sudden the fog lifted, and then there was this an increase in clarity of thought. Other things that we note that we haven't done official clinical studies on are high blood pressure. So Bob Johnson down the street, he's taking his high blood pressure medications, and he's going to see his doctor, and he's having his levels checked all the time. What we often notice is that those individuals who are taking high blood pressure meds for high blood pressure, that their doctor, as they're getting their levels checked, will actually gradually take them off, and in many cases completely off, because their blood pressure comes down. Migraines, we heard about that tonight. Thyroid issues. Obviously, your doctor, if you have thyroid issues, has probably got you on Synthroid or a synthetic thyroid medication. As you get your levels checked by your doctor regularly, that's par for the course. In many cases, your doctor will actually decrease you, and in many cases, again, will take you off the thyroid medications because you no longer need them. Asthma, that's a big one. We've seen profound results in asthma. And, of course, general health and well-being. If you're someone who wants to take a vitamin because you want to feel better, this is the one to take. So that kind of sums it up. Tony, is there anything else that I've missed there?
Well, you've covered the bases there. It's an all-round good product in that sense, and combined with Dr. K's technologies there, wow, this is a great coupling. There's no question
wonderful.
about that.
Powerful combination.
Yeah, I want to add, about 25 years ago, there was a real fraud perpetrated on the public, and that is the numerically balanced B vitamins. And if you go into a health food store, 70% of the B vitamins on the shelf are B25s, B50, B75, B100s. When you take those, you actually harm your body because you create a deficiency of niacinamide, among other things. And in the Q96 formula, you'll notice that there is a different balance than the RDAs, and that balance is absolutely key because this is a more natural balance. You need to have 6 times as much niacin as you have niacinamide, as you have B1 and B2, thiamine and riboflavin. And that is essential in promoting the health of your nerves and your brain. And this is exactly as I would design the balance. It's what's best for your body, and it just works synergistically with my herb and amino acid formula, the QVitalize. And with that, plus the probiotics, and boy, you're off and running.
Okay, this is Scott. Now, let's talk about a couple of other products. We got about 10 more minutes. And then address kind of what, we got some future things coming down, and then I want Dan Malthus to take a second.
Great. One of the products that we have coming out is an energy, hopefully we'll have it in an energy stick formulation, and that is a 2 or 3 gram powder stick, which will contain some potent energy stimulators, and it will be more like an emergency energy supplement. And it's not the kind of thing you want to use every day like the QVitalize or the Q96, but it will be available for you to use for those times when you need that extra boost of energy, and believe me, it will deliver. In addition, we have a great weight loss formula which suppresses appetite, increases the sensation of fullness, increases metabolic burn rate, and it is, again, a premier formulation that covers all the bases, contains some rare and costly herbs that have been proven to cut obesity, to improve weight loss in pretty much everybody who takes it, and that will be coming out shortly. In addition, there is a formulation which is not quite named as yet. I think it's maybe be called Q-Up, but this is another probiotic formula that has a different function. This is a probiotic that you chew that colonizes your upper digestive tract, going down to your liver and in the enteropathic circulation. And it's great for detoxifying the liver and charging up the enzyme systems in the liver through the bacilli. And as a case in point, it greatly increases the burn rate of alcohol being kind of the sentinel toxin. And amazingly enough, it will actually lower blood alcohol by as much as 60% within a half an hour or 40 minutes of chewing these tablets. And that, again, is a phenomenal product that is waiting in the wings here for us to present with the others.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, that one.
Hey, also, Dr. Kimberly, I was just going to tell you, just recently we got off the phone with the attorneys and stuff, and we've gotten clearance. We're actually going to have it branded as Cheers with the Exponential, and then To Your Health, and then Liver Support. So it's going to kind of mention what it does, but it's going to kind of have a little bit funner name, Cheers X. So we just barely got clearance about an hour or two ago on that, and so instead of Q Up, it's going to be Cheers To Your Health.
Well, cheers to that, Darren. Excellent. And
awesome.
And I can't even, how far these products can go in improving people's health. It's going to be exciting to see how all of these work together and how all of us look and feel a year from now after taking these on a consistent basis.